Our top stories from Greenland today, where citizens are being told to stay alert and prepare for a possible invasion. The island's Prime Minister, Jens-Frederik Nielsen, has asked residents and authorities to be ready for any emergency situation. The warning followed comments made by US President Donald Trump over the strategic Arctic island. Greenland's Prime Minister has cautioned citizens and local authorities over potential disruptions to daily life. While speaking at a press conference in Nuuk, he said that while a military conflict is unlikely, it cannot be completely ruled out.
It is not likely that there will be a use of military force, but it has not been ruled out yet. This leader from the other side has made it very clear that it is not ruled out, and therefore we must of course be prepared for everything. But we must emphasize that Greenland is part of the Western Alliance, NATO, and if there is further escalation, it will also have consequences for the entire outside world.
Well, Nielsen clarified that there was no immediate threat, but being prepared was necessary, given the rising international tensions. He said authorities cannot ignore the situation and must plan ahead to protect residents if circumstances worsen. Well, as part of the preparations, the Greenlandic government plans to form a special task force involving key local bodies. New public guidelines are also expected soon, including advice for households to store food supplies for at least 5 days. Officials stress these steps are meant for readiness and not to create fear. Well, the warning comes a day after Donald Trump shared images on his social media platform, Truth Social, suggesting complete US control over Greenland. One image showed the Danish territory as part of the United States, while another depicted Trump planting an American flag on the island with a sign calling it US territory. Trump has repeatedly argued that Greenland is crucial for security. He recently said the island is imperative for both US and global safety, citing concerns about Russian and Chinese activity in the Arctic, and claiming Denmark alone cannot handle these challenges. He's also threatened to impose tariffs on the NATO members who have offered to send troops to the island. These include Germany, Sweden, France, Norway, the Netherlands, and Finland. Well, the remarks elicited a harsh response from Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen. She said Europe would have to respond if the tariffs are implemented, warning of major consequences. The rhetoric has triggered concerns of a potential trade war. Well, now Trump is set to address the World Economic Forum in Davos, where the issue of trade is expected to be on the agenda, as well as Greenland.
Yeah, look, they need that agreement very badly with us. They really do. They fought very hard to get it, so I doubt that. But we'll see what happens. We have a lot of meetings scheduled on Greenland. I'm leaving tonight, as you know, for Davos, and we have a lot of meetings scheduled on Greenland. And I think things are going to work out pretty well, actually.
Well, Greenland is a strategic location between North America and Europe, and along with its rich natural resources, it's now a key focus in global security discussions. So while Greenland's leadership says conflict remains unlikely, the message is clear. Stay prepared, stay informed, and be ready for any disruption as geopolitical tensions rise around the Atlantic. Well, for more on this, we're joined now by Jens Wendel Hansen, Senior Researcher at Aarhus University in Denmark, joining us live from Copenhagen. Welcome to Firstpost Spotlight. Let me ask you first, then, even talking about a possible Greenland invasion by a NATO country would have been unthinkable not that long ago, wouldn't it?
Yes, quite inconceivable. You have talked about the security threat from China and Russia, of course, but you have never thought of anything else in this regard than U.S. military presence in Greenland, as it is now.
I mean, Donald Trump does say that America needs Greenland for security reasons. Does he have a point there?
No, he doesn't. That is the very, very simple answer. The 1951 defense agreement between Denmark and the U.S. states that the defense is collective between Denmark and the U.S. and that the US has in reality every possibility to be as military present in Greenland as it wants to be. So there is no hindrance in security matters on the US.
On a wider sense, though, and what might Russia and China, for example, be making of this transatlantic spat between NATO members?
Yeah, NATO allies threatening each other must be a delicacy for the adversaries of the alliance, especially for Russia, who has seen its worst adversary or its strongest adversary hitherto as being a united NATO. So of course this is a delicacy for anyone who sees itself as an adversary to NATO. Yes.
So given what you say then, I mean, how should NATO be feeling about its own future? Is it existential now?
Of course it's existential. I think that there is some kind of good vibes within Washington. There are a great opposition against destroying the NATO alliance, and therefore I find it hard to believe that this would be the consequence. But anyway, the what do you call it? The trust between the allied partners definitely have to be built up whenever this is over. But that also depends on how does this end? Does it end with an military invasion or does it not? A military invasion, as the Danish Prime Minister has also said, would be the end of NATO. You cannot have a military alliance where the allied attack each other. That is, that is clear.
Okay, we'll leave it there. Jens Wendell Hansel, thank you very much for joining us here on Firstpost Spotlight. Thank you.
Thank you.
The world doesn't fit in boxes, so why should your news? From battlefields to negotiation tables, from internet outrage to real-world injustice. The conversations everyone is having and the ones they're avoiding. It's the same show, but this new year, Firstpost America gets a new look. I'm Kerry Johnston, and this is Firstpost America.